Within just 2 weeks, I was able to go from not doing the L sit at all, from my leg shaking, to being a master at it in just 2 weeks. I was able to go from basically a complete novice about the L sit. I've tried before, obviously, and whenever I push off the ground, it would be for like 2 seconds and then nothing. I went from that to being able to hold myself in the L sit position for 30 seconds. Not just on my fingertips, not just with parapets, but in my actual hands for 30 seconds. And today I'm going to show you how. The L sit is not a beginner move, and it shouldn't be put in the beginner position. That is what I hear a lot when people say whenever I see a ranking of calisthenics moves, and the L sit is towards the beginning. A lot of people say no, it shouldn't be because it's too hard. The L sit actually is a beginner move. It is in, if there are 3 levels to calisthenics, you are at tier 1, you should learn the L sit. The L sit is easy relative to the rest of calisthenics. The L sit is very difficult to do. When I say easy, and a lot of people say easy, it's easy compared to the rest of the stuff that a lot of calisthenics athletes do. So, truth be told, it is hard, as hard as it is to do. It's easy when you look at it in comparison to what you have waiting for you down the line with a dragon flag, Nordic curl, human flag, all these things. Those are way, way harder. So essentially what I'm saying is, you are down here. There's levels to this. The L sit is easy. So when doing this, it is kind of upsetting because that means the easiest move for calisthenics is very difficult for you. But it also means you have a long way to go, which means you have a lot of progress to make in your journey, okay? It's kind of like saying baking a cake is easy. Now, relatively, it is. But a lot of other cooking techniques that you could do, much more impressive. Now that being said, today I'm going to show you how to do the L sit. This is going to be the tutorial. Let me debunk right now, a lot of people say their arm is too short. That is false. That has never been true, because it is not about your arm length. It's about core compression. So when you look at someone doing the L sit, what are they in position? Well, the shape of the L, right? And their legs are pointed outward, and their torso is sometimes straight up and down, but not always. That is because the movement that you're doing when you do the L sit, you're compressing your core. Go ahead and, if you're sitting down, try to lift your legs up so that they're perpendicular to the horizon, like this. Now, if you can do it sitting in a chair, great. Now go ahead and try to lift them higher. Much more difficult, see? Luckily, you're gonna have the support of your arms to do it. But the thing is, it's not about the arm length, because what you want to do is actually bring your legs above the level where your arms are. Which means if you were like a T-Rex, well, obviously not, but you get what I'm point. If you had really short arms, what you want to do is bring them up. That is the main point. A lot of people go wrong is they try to do it simply, just do the L sit on the ground. You're not ready for that yet. And if you ever played around with chairs, you can do it on chairs, but the best thing to use are these parapets. You've seen these before, I'm pretty sure. You can do a lot of calisthenics moves with them. Now we're down here on the ground. Much easier. Now, when it comes to doing the L sit, you are going to be putting all of your force on your arms, but sort of like compressing your core in the middle. Like I said in another video, a good way to get started is by doing some L sit leg pumps. You're sitting on the floor, toes pointed outward. You want your toes pointed forward. And you're going to, just first of all, as a beginner, try to lift yourself off the ground like this. And you notice as I'm doing it, I'm pushing my shoulders away from my head and making my spine as straight as possible. You want your legs as straight as possible too. You might be tempted to have your feet going like this, but the best way to do it is have your toes pointed forward like that, okay? And then slowly push yourself up. Now that's step one. Now, step two is the core compression. So what you want to do to sort of help this is take your hands. They should not be right at your side. They should be a bit in front of you, because your hips are going to be back behind your hands when you do the L sit. Okay? Tightening your posterior chain around here. The L sit in itself, remember, is not just a skill, it's a workout. So you're really going to feel your abs tightening. Pro tip: do not do ab exercises before you practice the L sit. Do it after. Because you're not going to have the stamina of your core to be able to do it. I would say pick one or the other. Of course, if you want to train abs, that's fine. But I would say if you want to train abs and do the L sit, do the L sit first, train abs after. It is all in the core. Now, a lot of people can do an L sit for 1 to 2 seconds. That's because they need more core compression. And what you want to do for that is build up more strength in your core by doing moves like lying leg raises, hanging leg raises, which are much better. Planks will also build you a tight, solid core. Now let's do the actual move, okay? The L sit is going to be sat down like this. All right, your body's in the shape of an L. You want to take your hands, put them slightly above your thigh. Now, what we could actually do is take our legs and go like this. So, try and lift yourselves up off the ground like that. Get a feel for the position. Hold this for a bit. All right, and you can actually do those for reps too, which is just going to be lifting yourself up and down. Now, the first thing you want to do is knee sits. So, not quite L sits yet, but like this. Really train your body to get in that position. The thing is, it's kind of like dips. Dips will actually get you prepared for this, because you're going to be holding your body up from just your 2 arms. You've never done that before, and your arms are weaker, so you're going to need to practice this a lot. When you move to the ground, start with lifting your legs up for reps. Now for holding, there's reps exercises and the holding exercises. You would do leg raises for reps. Holding exercise is going to be just get in the L sit position and just push up. Not with your legs, just with your torso. And then try to lift your legs up slowly a bit over time. You're going to really feel it in your chest. You'll be able to do it for a few seconds. These things are fantastic because they stop your legs from just hitting the ground, and they actually allow you to get more practice by being up off the ground in that L sit position, holding it with these. You need some sort of support. That's why you see some people do other knuckles. You find it easier when you have more space between your hands and the ground. Now, that is obviously not saying your arms are too short. On the contrary, like I said before, it's about core compression. But these parapets will really boost your progress, and they're actually, in my opinion, I think they should not be skipped. I don't even think they're optional. I think you do need these to get better at L sits. And I was actually able to do the L sit in 2 weeks. Now, I want you to take an actionable step. Get parapets. If you don't have parapets, you can just take some books, stack them yay high, and you'll be slightly off the ground. You'll be able to hold yourself up. And what you want to do is get your feet from going like this to get them slightly up a bit. Remember, toes pointed out. This is one of the cases where form does matter. Alright, but most importantly, stay consistent. That is how I was able to do it. For 2 weeks straight, every single day, I would go and do the L sit in the parapet position. And that is how you can master it too. Alright? Now stay flashy.